Okay, folks, I'm here at the Atlantic Nationals, and I have Bill Doherty, and we're going to be talking with Bill a little bit about the history of the Atlantic Nationals. So, Bill, how long have you been a part of the Atlantic Nationals?
The first Atlantic Nationals was 2001, and I've started working on the Nationals in 1999.
Okay, so you've been a part of it right from
day one, and most of our committee, all of our committee virtually, have been at it since day one, since the very beginning.
And of course, on everybody's mind, we've been 2 years without the Atlantic Nationals because of COVID. There's been a few. Well, last year we had a few little.
Yep. So what we did is we wanted to keep the show fresh and keep it on people's minds and give people some relief from being locked up in the house all the time.
Absolutely.
So in 2020 we couldn't do a show obviously in 2020, but what we did do is started a bi-weekly cruise. And it was wildly successful beyond anything that we imagined, and it went great for 2020. 2021, we decided we'd continue on with that, and when the restrictions got loosened up a little bit, I got a call from the Premier's office in advance to say, hey, in a couple of weeks we're going to, looks like. So it gave us a couple of weeks lead time, and in 6 weeks we planned a show that would usually take 16 months.
Right.
And we put on a show. We thought maybe we'll get 500 cars. We had 1,240 last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 1,240 this year, and I saw a figure on Facebook on the group that said you had 2,155 registered at the time you made that post. Any guess to how many is registered now?
I was just talking to the chief registrar. It was my wife. We were 2,155 when we shut down the online registration. Yep. And as of today, about half an hour ago, we were at 2,450 cars.
Wow. Is that a record?
That is a record.
Absolutely. Officially a record.
I couldn't remember what the number was before, but it was less than 2,100 before.
I've been coming here for probably 15, maybe 14 years myself.
Sure.
When I was younger. Right up till now, I'm coming as an enthusiast myself.
Right.
And every year it does seem to get better and better. And when 2019 was the last time that we were able to do a full show like we're doing today,
sure.
The weather was hot.
Right.
People were grumpy.
Yep.
But the weather's cooperating with us today.
The weather today and tomorrow is perfect. It's bright and sunny, but there's a nice breeze.
Yep.
And it's about 22 degrees. Which is in American terms 22.
72 or 3-ish, something like that maybe.
What my friend who does a lot of international travel said, double it and add 30. So 22, 44, 74.
There you go.
Yeah.
So last night they had the cruise downtown, a little show down there.
We had some dust control there.
A little bit of dust control, which is what made us leave a little bit early. It took us longer to get out of the parking space than we were, but I would say there's record crowds of people who are registered. I think there's record crowds of people in attendance.
Absolutely. It's been a great crowd, and everybody's happy. It's a really happy crowd. I had to leave downtown for a little while, and that's when all the rain hit, and I had to go to the house to get some more tools for the. We're chopping a 1944 here today, and so I was picking up some tools, and the lightning and the thunder all started. So I just sat on the front veranda and watched the lightning and thunder, and then I came back to town. I said, "Dang, I missed Chilliwack."
Yeah.
I got back downtown about a little after 9:30, and they were just halfway through the first song.
Well, there you go.
And there was a small crowd, very appreciative crowd. I had to go move a trailer, and I come back, and it was a huge crowd. And it was great. They did a couple of encores. And, yeah, it was really good.
Well, that's good. And I mean, COVID still is a thing. It's still with us. We're still dealing with that. And because of that, we've had a few things with some guests that were meant to be a part of the show this year.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about who they were and that the fact, obviously, we know they're not here.
I was talking to Artie Schilling, East Coast Artie, who's pinstriper, and Artie was going to be Artie's first trip here. And Artie's air travel was changed 56 times, and on Monday canceled. With no replacement. Gene Winfield, we had worked really hard. Gene's just had his 95th birthday, and we wanted to make travel easy as we possibly could. So we had him flying through Montreal to avoid some of the turmoil in Toronto. And we made that decision before there was turmoil in Toronto.
Yep.
And they canceled his flight 4 times, and the 4th time he was leaving at a ridiculous hour in the morning and flying through Toronto with a 6-hour carryover.
Yeah.
Now we have Kev Dog from Kindigit with us this year, and we called Kevin, and he said, "My honor to take care of Gene all the time he's in the Toronto airport," because Kev had an hour earlier than Gene.
Sure. Yeah.
But what we were concerned with, Kev flies home through Montreal, Gene flies home through Toronto, and what if something happened in Toronto?
Right.
And Gene typically travels with a companion now, and we were just concerned for his welfare in getting back to California.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because we made Gene our Grand Marshal. We have a 4-foot by 8-foot birthday cake. We have clothing with Grand Marshal on it, sweaters with Grand Marshal on it, and a proclamation from the mayor.
Yeah.
But we
well, and at the best of times, flying at any age can be challenging. And then at 95, word to the wise, if you're traveling in today's day, like, just make sure you plan ahead and plan accordingly.
Yep.
Last thing I want to talk about is the show truck, the giveaway truck.
Yes. Amazing.
It's an amazing truck. Tell us some of the details about it. I'll get some pictures after.
We have a new show in town, AJM Classics. It was a new company that was formed during the pandemic, and they are building some of the highest level cars that you can imagine. Dave Kindig was at our indoor show in April, and Dave was completely blown away with the 62 Corvette that's over my shoulder at the show, and he said, it's like it came out of his shop.
Yeah.
So AJM, I found a rust-free Southern short wheelbase, short box, square body truck. That's a mouthful.
Yeah, it is.
And it was the weirdest equipped truck I've ever seen. It's a short box. It was a custom deluxe, which is a stripper
Base, yeah.
and it had factory tilt cruise air, and it had dual tanks on a 305 two-wheel drive truck. So it was different. Super solid truck. AJM took it to a bare frame. And 3 weeks before the indoor show in April, it was a bare frame sitting on the floor, and it's beautiful now. It's just amazing. We debuted it at the Radical Speed Sports Show, which is Canada's oldest show.
Yep, there you go. So one of the things that we do at the Get.Out.N.Drive.Podcast is we love to talk about cars. We love to talk about what drives you. What is it that you, Bill, to be a part of the Atlantic Nationals here in Moncton?
I've got a passion for cars. I got way too many. We build our own cars, have a lot of fun with it. We've got a group of friends that get together and help each other out and that sort of thing. And we're all old guys now, so we weren't when we started.
Yeah.
But it started as an enjoyment of the hobby, and it's grown into New Brunswick's biggest single event, tourist event, and all of the related parts of it. So a lot of what we're doing is the love of the hobby, the love of the sport. It's the people. I mean, I can't walk 2 feet and seeing somebody that I've seen at the show and met at the show.
Sure.
So friends and all that sort of thing. And on the other side of it is the contribution to the city and the province.
Yep. And one thing that we did do this year with the Get.Out.N.Drive.Podcast is we kind of partnered with the Atlantic Nationals.
Yes. We're proud to do it.
Proud to do that. So we want to make sure that everybody knows that we do Get Out and Drive Day this year, which is October the 2nd. There's a reason why we do that. Twofold. One, we want to get you guys out in your cars and just drive, let the wind blow through your hair, have a little bit of fun. But we also do it for the purpose of making sure that the young people today see what is involved in getting these cars ready, getting them, shined up, cruising down the road. Because if we don't continue to tell these stories, these kids won't grow up knowing the passion that we have as car guys. Bill, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate the opportunity, and we look forward to partnering with you hopefully again next year.
Absolutely. Enjoy the show.